Before we start, let me recite a little bit the dua or opening the majlis for today. With that, we should opening with Surah Al-Fatihah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Rahmanirrahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wa bihi nasta'in. Assalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Uhayyikum bitahiyyatil Islam tahiyatan yatibu jazaha miska wa raihana tahiyatan ahlul jannah yawma yalqawnahu salama. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to all participants. Today we will begin with our class like usual, our online short courses on Islamic management, business and management. And as usual today, Dr. Mariam will present her slide today regarding the supply chain productivity and quality from Islamic perspective, halal logistic and inventory management practice. And today, inshallah, she will come for the Q&A in the 10 minute in the end, inshallah. So without further ado, the timing already comes. Let we begin with Dr. Siti Mariam. Falyatafaddal ma'jurah, Doctor.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrahli sadri wa yassirli amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Right, so for today, module 5, we will continue with the title of Halal Logistics and Inventory Management Practices. Right, so let's things that we need to ponder. Right, so in the Al-Bukhari mentioned, the Prophet says so that indeed what is halal is clear and what is haram is clear. So between the two, some things are suspicious that many people do not know. So whoever shuns suspicion means he has saved his religion and honor. And whoever falls into the matter of suspicion, then it is feared with will fall into the things that is forbidden, as the shepherd carries his suffered animal around the forbidden field. Then sooner or later he will probably enter it. Know that every king has God's prohibition, and prohibition what he prohibits. So thus, know that there is a lump of flesh. If it is good, then the whole body will be good. Vice versa, if it is bad, then the whole body is bad, which is our heart, right? Okay, let's continue. We need to know the halal logistic issue, right? So recently, if we look into Abu Dhabi, so saying so the perfection of the piety is when a servant fear Allah, so that in a matter as small as a particle, and until he leave some things he sees halal because he is afraid it is haram. So as a barrier between him with things that are haram, right? So be it in halal logistic, including the physical activities of storing and transporting, which providing a set of data for communication and management between successive links up and down, right? So along the food supply chain, along this chain, it is necessary to apply the principle of Sharia. This leads to the basic of halal logistics in ensuring the separation of halal cargo from non-halal cargo. This aims to avoid cross-contamination, right? And ensure the logistics system is in line with the expectation of Muslim consumer and prove halal integrity is protected along the supply chain. So thus, this method actually gives a meaning related to how to carry our Sharia principle in the logistic process by Sharia requirement, right? So we go for next. Halal logistic and inventory management actually is a broader inclusivity of logistic operations such as storage, transportation, and material handling in a way that adheres to Islamic law. Right? So Sharia principle, ensuring the integrity of halal product throughout the chain. The Sharia principle is aligned with Islamic principle. So particularly the concept of halalan thayyiban, right? So secondly, on the segregation, which is physical segregation of halal product from non-halal items to prevent cross-contamination. Thirdly, transparency and traceability. We need to have transparency and traceability throughout the supply chain, allowing for verification of halal status, specific practice, and also documentation. This one includes halal certified transportation, warehousing, and also material handling procedures, ensuring that all stages of the process are compliant. Right. So in halal supply chain standard, from Malaysia standard, actually it's spelled out in our JAKIM, which is Malaysian Standard 2400. We have the elements of one on the transportation, which is Halalan Thayyiban Assurance Pipeline. Is talking about management system requirement for transportation of goods and or cargo chain service. While element 2 is talking about the management system requirement for warehousing and related activities. And the third element is emphasizing on the management system requirement for retailing. So actually, if talking about transportation, we need to manage the integrity of goods and or cargo being handled through the various mode of transportation. And if talking about warehousing, actually, we need to see the integrity of product, goods, and also cargo during the warehousing and related activities through the entire process. While the lastly on the retailing, also talking about the integrity of products at the retailing stage of the halalan thayyiban assurance pipeline. Right? So if we can see from this diagram, MS 2400, we have part 1 is on the transportation and containers over here. Part 2, we are talking about warehousing. So for this case, how many times we are putting into the warehouse? So they are under elements of part 2, right? So, and the part 3 is talking about at the retailer stage. So, all the this has been governed with the Malaysian standard of halalan thayyiban requirements, right? So, next, we look into the Maslahah approach, right? So we are talking about Maslahah is referring to both Islam ruling and also human affairs. we need to adjust with the suitability time and place to achieve the Maqasid Syariah. This is our optimum requirement, the utmost requirement, right? So according to Al-Ghazali, the Maslahah consists of consideration which secure benefit or prevent harm, but in the meantime, harmonious with the objective of Maqasid of the Sharia. Right? So actually this objective include protecting of 5 essential values that are namely as religion, life, intellect, lineage, and also property. Right? So another another requirement is on the 15,000, right? Emphasize on halal food, right? So even not only inclusive the source itself, is it from the animal, land or water, right? And also the plant and even the fungi from the mushroom, microorganism. So all this has been spelled out very clearly. Secondly, look at the genetically modified foods also being covered under this 15,000 elements. So, and to determine the food is safe, non-toxic or harmful for health, and also lastly on the condition of the slaughter at the poultry or and also ruminants. So, requirement has been spelled out and emphasize the rules to follow, right? So lastly, on the maslahah items, we look into the growing demand for halal foods, goods and services, and also in the halal industry has expanded from the service sector. We look at logistic, packaging, branding, and even marketing, right? So into pharmaceutical product, cosmetics, halal finance, entertainment, investment, so even tourism, right? So I will touch a detail few in the few areas later, right? So we look at the entire spectrum actually of the supply chain has been governed, right? With the certification, procurement, packaging, transportation, all these activities being governed into the what we call the as maslahah, right? So partly let us try to explain from the halal supply chain standard, which relates to the broader spectrum of the logistic wise, right? Okay, so from the storage, distribution, or even delivery of and transportation, actually is a part of the halal logistic mechanism where we are talking about from farm to forks, right? So meaning the entire supply chain um, uh, need to be governed, right? So with the network, right? So in fact, we also having the test halal value creation. We need to construct with where the product, now we are talking about the profit, people and planet, the 4 Ps also being governed with the halal requirement and certification, since the capabilities of the halal logistics service are linked to um, how efficiently input resources are converted into product of halal value for the customers, right? So from the green logistic also, we look into how it supports human and environmental sustainability. So from the diagram over here, we are governed by halal value creation for the 4 Ps involved, and all these has been governed also under the green logistic, right? So including packaging, transportation, warehousing, and also system or technology. And at the end, actually, the output will be the halal logistic value chain from the packaging itself, transportation, halal warehousing, and also management system, right? Right. So we look at try to look deeply into green packaging and also green transportation. If we are talking about green packaging, we can be construct that efficiently meets its functional requirement of product or commodity life cycle, right? So it is also stressed by where green packaging must not harm the environment or human health, support the reverse logistic, it can be recycled or reused to fulfill the criteria of sustainable development. Right. So, in fact, this approach actually selected the packaging material method will promote climates and, in fact, economic and social sustainable growth, such as recycling, product reuse, right? So, all these actually we are contributing to the reverse logistic and reduction of waste in the material usage, right? So look at the green transportation. We are construct or from the sustainable transportation is the effective use of sustainable transport modes and also proactive transport planning. It decreases the impact on environment while increasing the health and capacity flow of goods across the supply chain. So meaning that it has improved delivery efficiency, reduced errors, and also save the resources. So all in all, actually, they are coming from our from our diagram just now, from the 4 Ps, we are contributing to the logistic or value chain in the logistic, right? Okay, so we can see now the challenges is where the degree of challenges might be increasing, right? So, however, right? So what are the area we want to look into, right? So the which impacting us most now, right? So first we look at the cooperation wise. Actually, with a few research shows that we are at the low degree of cooperation between Halal Certification Authority and also logistic service provider players, right? So this has caused actually, um, many people might be still go for a normal, what we call that logistic players instead of go to halal, right? So might be from the pricing standpoint, right? So might be the numbers of the halal logistic certification still at the minimum the numbers which is not go be widely yet, right? So secondly, from the synergy, still lack of synergy by halal authority agency in implementing the enforcement to logistic players. So if there is no or lack of enforcement, so that means people are open to use their option, whether they want to go for halal players, halal logistic players or not, right? So enforcement is not being there yet, right? Okay. Thirdly, we look into the difficulties of implementing halal practice due to the lack of information sharing among suppliers and community, especially for retailers. Right, so towards the end, after the manufacturer, once they go to warehousing, Then from warehousing, it goes to retailer, right? So at retailer sites, information sharing about the halal practices still not still at the low level. Okay, so fourthly, lack of knowledge. This one is talking about Sharia principle, right? So of the logistics service provider, as it is slightly different from the conventional practice. So if the knowledge of Sharia principle is not being governed to everyone yet, right? So still some people is not knowing what is right, what is wrong, what is the right thing on the to do with the logistics service providers, right? So meaning that there is still a gap in terms of knowledge. So my the halal and non-halal items are being stored in the same container or the same cargo supposedly is wrong, right? So this knowledge is not going deeply into our communities yet, right? So, and lastly, talking about halal retailing might be a handicap to those who are brand new exposed to the halal environment system, right? So, for example, the requirement to do sama ritual cleansing, and we are talking about the sama if the container has been mixed with the halal and non-halal, so how to do the sama, all the stuff, right? So these kind of things that clarification need to go because there is a broken what we call that, there is a gap lah between the process, right? So all these need to be people need to gain the knowledge first, right? So they need to gain what need to be done from the Sharia principle, right? Okay, so since we have a lot of issues, a lot of challenges, so what we can offer, right? We always talk, issues. So now, in order to overcome, actually, there is something that motivating for us today, I get, and I believe so, right? So we need to look into the halal hub concept, right? So the concept of halal huts is referred to a center or institution that dedicate to facilitate the production, distribution, and certification itself. Everything is under one. So meaning that they are being monitored, they are a center of what we call that production. We control everything under one place, right? So this halal hub actually aims to provide the necessary infrastructure and services for producers to ensure their products comply with halal principle. So this includes facilitating the certification process, developing standard, providing training, and also enabling collaboration among stakeholders in the halal industry, right? So actually, this halal hub can also play a role in promoting halal product and also building consumer trust in the authenticity and also halal status of the product. If we can see from the diagram over here, actually halal integrity competency, we govern everything from the halal logistic, halal supply chain. We have our halal industrial park, right? So we have halal marketing and also halal ports and shipping. So all these actually promoting the halal, and we are very safe in this manner. So that's why halal hub actually is the concept that we need to be promoting widely, right? So let's start a look into how strategies in establishing the halal hub. Right? So several strategies has been devised to achieve this goal, including building partnership between producers, certification bodies, regulatory agencies to ensure standard compliance and support the halal ecosystem, right? So to provide training and education, because before this we see the challenge where the gap in knowledge on the Sharia compliance, right? So we are providing the education training program for the producers, all the stakeholders involved, right? And also entrepreneurs, right? To enhance their understanding on halal compliance and business management, right? So thirdly, we look into developing, integrating between production, storage, distribution facilities that meet halal and fuel safety standard, right? So have been outlined towards establishing the halal hub. Then fourthly, from the marketing and promotion strategies, we have been devised to strengthen this area of for halal products, including leveraging digital technology to expand market reach, right? So after we have established and also sustained at our local site, we need to collaborate internationally. It seems that one strategy is toward establishing halal hub by developing partnership with international institutions to enhance recognition and also trust in our local halal certification, right? So if we can see here the existing of halal ecosystem, not only from production, right? So we also have a service halal in service sector and infrastructure, right? So we have halal industrial park, R&D as well, research and development testing labs, right? So traceability system, this one also infrastructure. We use digital platform to have a traceability, and we have halal certification body to certify the halal, right? So all in all, actually, two things that to ensure the success, which is government support and also human capitals. So these two are main things in order to ensure halal ecosystem is successful, right? So actually we can see now is halal is coming to a stage where it's becoming a mainstream, right? Because globally, people are supporting the halal, especially from the Muslim country, right? So now, in fact, halal products, especially for foods, also being um, what we call that diligently used by non-Muslim. They also required, right? They also buy our what halal products to be consumed by them, right? So this is a good news for us, right? So it seems like the halal things actually is what we call that is known as good for everyone, right? So that's why they are supporting halal, even though they are non-Muslim. Okay, right. So as we see just now, halal ecosystem. So in Malaysia, the first thing first, actually, we need to know that the government, the halal certification body lah, right? So and secondly, we look into the development and branding, because in Malaysia we have one body we call as Malaysia Halal Industry Development Corporation, HDC, is dedicated an agency to establish under the direct preview of Ministry of Finance, incorporated to improve halal ecosystem in Malaysia. So this body actually they are focusing on development of halal products and also the branding. So promotion, everything coming under this body, right? So forever the entrepreneurs news or already established in the market. So once we are producing new products, right? So to reach the market. Okay, so as what I said just now.
Aina, uh, Aina, can you share screen? Yes.
So okay, right. Okay, right. So as we see just now, halal ecosystem. So in Malaysia,
Yes.
the first thing first, actually, we need to know that the government, the halal certification body lah, right? So, and secondly, we look into the development and branding because in Malaysia, we have one body we call as Malaysia Halal Industry Development Corporation, HDC, is dedicated an agency to establish under the direct preview of Ministry of Finance, incorporated to improve halal ecosystem in Malaysia. So this body actually they are focusing on development of halal products and also the branding. So promotion, everything coming under this body, right? So forever the entrepreneurs news or already established in the market. So once we are producing new products, right? So to reach the market, so this body they are helping in do the branding as and promotion as well. Right? Okay. So another portion is government of Malaysia putting global halal leader. All right. So in innovation, production, and trade within halal related sector, including specialty of processed food, cosmetic, personal care, which is we said so just now. So many now. Not only food for halal, but any others moving towards halal, where even the ingredient used in pharmaceutical, in the cosmetics, like the livestock and the service sector, particularly logistics and tourism, also now developing in halal ecosystem, right? Okay, the Malaysian halal ecosystem also not limit to halal certified foods and also beverages, as mentioned just now. Now, we are going to the whole supply chain, which is from business financing to the end product of logistic and distribution center. So meaning that if we have halal hub concept that how Malaysia introduced to that, right? So, and actually we are uh, a way ahead in promoting the halal. Not only that, to the our local country, but actually to the international, whereby we can actually exchange as well. And if this is a good idea, right? So might be other countries also can follow this halal hub concept, which has been established in Malaysia quite sometimes, a few years back, right? Okay, so as what I said just now in from the diagram, right? So we are not only looking at uh, from food industry. So we also see now from tourism industry, but I'm using this is from Brunei Darussalam. So if anyone from Brunei here, right? Actually, once I do some research on the halal tourism, is very unfortunately I'm finding this out, right? So actually, halal tourism industry in Brunei, they already govern within the framework of Maqasid Sharia, right? So from the protection of religion, all right. So they have a Qiblat direction in the hotel, Quran and prayer mat available, time schedule of prayer. So, and from the protection of life, we look into access to authentic local halal food. They give the direction, right? So connecting with local Muslim community activities and destination, right? So from the protection of lineage, also look into the conservation of natural environment and access to Brunei Muslim cultural heritage. So has been um, might be this one has been digitalized and incorporate into all those hotels that providing the participate in the tourism activities, right? All right. So from the protection of intellect, they are sharing local culture and Islamic heritage, seamless booking experience. So all these are a good start, right? So finally, from the wealth, protection of wealth to access to the trip planning, travel information, and even accuracy, transparency of halal insurance, right? So all this has been governed within the framework of Maqasid Sharia, right? So next, okay, so something that Global Muslim Travel Index identifies, all right, so they identify 9 key faiths based needs that significant impact on Muslim travelers. So all these, as explained just now, so uh, the pillars of the Maqasid Sharia, so we need to be incorporated into our halal logistic, right? So in whatever industry we are in, right? So this will be our framework that we need to govern, right? So think that's yeah. Finally is on the limitation, right? So manufacturing and trade cargo can actually limitation is on the logistic wise, um, halal logistic wise, all right? So manufacturing and trade cargo ni can originate from different countries, right? So but only a few halal certification bodies. So now we are looking at the limitation need to be overcome, right? So if we are limited the bodies, certification bodies, so it seems like we need to address this concern because we need to go global. With the go global, which means that we need to establish the principle of halal logistics that are fair and practical. In educate information and few expert in halal logistics lead to ineffective system in the and higher cost for halal logistic implementation. So we might need to certify more bodies, but within the main bodies, right? So um, at least we open up more, so at least people are very near to get them to be certified, because this one certification at least actually the steps to by step, the process flow to certify is very complex. Actually need to go through a lot of thorough process, right? So sometimes similar to ISO certification, sometimes within 6 months you are not able to get through certification yet. So similar to this, it may drag to 1 year, right? So the more the fewer of the bodies, um, maybe it's become the gaps to get more halal logistic to be certified, right? So secondly, on the knowledge wise about the cause of contamination and appropriate habits to avoid can be therefore leads to inefficient and useless practice, right? So after that, the necessity of establishing a global standard guideline to clearly define cross-contamination between halal and haram and optimize the halal logistics service, right? So thirdly, on the halal dedicated infrastructure, right? So such as halal warehouse and storage unit, halal transportation fleets, and also containers and halal only handling equipment are known to inflate the overall cost of halal logistic operation. So we need to overcome this, right? Infrastructure wise. Okay. So next is halal logistic is less demand. Why? Which does not justify the dedication of facility for halal product, right? So practicing halal logistic adds to the financial concern, right? Or of the logistic service provider. Hence, halal practices are not applied by most logistic companies, right? So then, they are choosing halal and non-halal product continue to be transported together and stored together in the same warehouse, right? So these are the current practice, right? So without knowing it or we also actually not go thoroughly checking on this what we call that at the warehousing, right? So whether the storage is mixed between halal and non-halal and only come to the retailer, they separate the shelf that display the halal and non-halal. So if we go deeply, might be whatever that we consume daily also are still in the mix, right? From the transportation and also warehousing. Okay. So adopting halal warehouse actually complexity and top management. It is complex, right? And top management support as the determinant factors and supply availability as barrier to the adoption of warehousing services, right? So all this actually might be what we need to do is all the Muslim countries, we need to work together hand in hand, right? So first we need to start on the halal hub concept. So if everyone have this, then we go for the certification bodies. We buy. So that's mean the exchange between halal hub from one country to another country or one state to another state, right? So this is we already sure that they are purely halal, right? So from the ingredient, from the supplier of raw material, right? So to the manufacturer, the process in manufacturing, and in fact go to the transportation to the warehousing, and inside the warehousing, and further goes to the retailers, right? So we already ensure because we have the system in place that need to be followed, right? So with that, I end my presentation. Thank you so much. So if you have any question, right? So you can, all right. So this is another one, right? So might be the moderator can give my email, so you can reach through my email. So thank you so much for watching, right? So Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Dr. Siti Mariam, for your present today. But for the to all participants, Doctor, because of her line, she cannot enter for the Q&A time. So You can email to her email. I will provide here, inshallah, after this. And you can direct email to her. So inshallah, she will reply for the question. For now, maybe we can continue for the next session with Dr. Sara. Dr. Sara, are you here? Doctor?
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How are you, doctor?
Alhamdulillah. I hope everyone here is feeling well as well.
Okay, I think your sound is
Can I
again
start right away?
okay, a
Yes.
little bit you sound a little bit not clear, doctor.
I'm sorry. Can I start, or should we take a few
Okay, yeah,
minutes?
it's okay, doctor. We can start now. So
Okay.
inshallah, we will hear from Dr. Sara with the subjects business analytics and AI in Islamic management. فليتفضل دكتورة.
Okay, I'm trying to. Okay, now it's shared. Can you now see my screen?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so let's get to it. So before we start as usual. Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, Sayyidina Muhammad, wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man walah. So in this session today, I will be talking about yet another issue or concern for AI in business. In the previous session, my colleague Dr. Wan Ruhaida discussed the issue of privacy in data collection and how we should be mindful when collecting and sharing the data of the participants or our customers and so on. So in this session, we continue the main issues in AI in Islamic management from an Islamic management perspective. And in this session, we will talk about fairness and bias in AI systems. So basically, we will be discussing the concept of adl or justice. It is actually one of the main concerns regarding business, because when we talk about this, when we are using AI systems, we may unintentionally cause harm, which goes against the Islamic principles. So let's take a look at today's session. So first, we will talk about the scale of the challenge. So what does it look like for AI in business now? And also, we will go through the sources of bias. So when we talk about bias, we need to know where does it come from in order to improve the situation and solve the problems associated with it. Then we will take real world cases to see what is the impact of the bias on systems. And we will conclude with the framework that we discussed last time, the Islamic technological ethics, and how we address the issue of adl or justice from the Islamic perspective. Okay, so let's start with the scale of the challenge. What does it look like? So these numbers here should concern every business leader in the room. So according to the latest Stanford AI index, so they measure how many companies around the world in different regions are adopting AI in their organizations. As of 2024, 78% of the organizations actually reported the use of AI. So this is not an intention, this is an actual use. And 73% of them actually use it in their core functions. This is a huge percentage, given that AI was introduced just a few years ago. This is driven by the expected value. So as we can see here from another report by McKinsey and Company, the potential AI value that companies can profit is estimated at $4.4 trillion. So this is like huge money. That's why companies are competing to win this race in AI, because they are expecting a lot of benefits. The industries or sectors that are adopting AI the most or the highest are in finance, healthcare, retail, or manufacturing, as we can see here. But the trend projects that 90% of the healthcare, so the numbers in AI adoption trend here in column 2 is the expected based on the current practices. So the trend is going upward, and we can see that many companies are trying to use AI in the future. So even those who did not start using AI now, they are considering it or using it at a smaller scale with the plan to expand. So some of the use cases, as we can see from every industry here, for example, in finance, it can be used in fraud detection and risk management. For the healthcare, it is mainly used for diagnosis and monitoring. For the retail, of course, we know we've discussed, and Dr. Mariam has also discussed how there are many issues related to the analytics and how to manage the supply chain. So we can see that it can be used for the in-store analytics, for demand forecasting, and to personalize the customer experience. And in manufacturing, of course, we can use it for the quality control and predictive maintenance. So with this, we can see that this huge adoption, this huge trend towards using AI is also reflected in the Islamic economy. So here we have this very interesting report, and I encourage those who are interested to, I have put the link here, so you can read the full report. Now, the Islamic economy is valued in 2023 at 2.4, almost $2.4 million. And this is only growing. So when we look at that, we see that the highest percentage is for Islamic finance, followed by halal food. But there are also these, they look small, but of course they're not. There are smaller opportunities in modest fashion, in halal cosmetics, in media. So all these are opportunities to actually invest in business. And all of these, as you will see detailed in the report, because I cannot cover all of the content here. So all of these areas has high potential for improvement using AI, but it is most obvious in the halal supply chain and compliance sector. So when we talk about adopting AI in business from an Islamic perspective, this should reflect the deeply shaped Islamic ethical considerations and Sharia compliance. So with all of this race, if we may say, all of this race to adopt AI and seize the benefit of what comes in value from AI, we see that this is not matched. This is not as expected with the responsible AI practices. So we see here that I'm not sure if it's clear. Maybe we can, if we can zoom in. Is it clear, the table here? So here it lists in the columns the main, okay, good, there, so you can see. Here we have the main AI models, for example, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, Gemini, and so on. And in the first column, we have the responsible AI benchmarks. And we can see that maybe O1 and ChatGPT are the only ones who have checked the marks for reporting the safety and responsible AI benchmark. So all of the companies who are using these different models, they are not sure if the AI system is built to be responsible. They're not sure if the algorithm is actually designed to avoid all the problems we've talked about, whether it's leaking your information or just perpetuating the bias that is inherent in the system. So there is a huge adoption, but the restrictions, or if we may say the guidance to use it responsibly is not matched. So all these companies, all these people who are using AI, they're not sure if the system is designed in a way to be responsible. So before we talk further about the impact, we need first to understand where does the bias come from in an AI system. So I'm going to talk about 3 levels. This comes at multiple levels, so it's not accidental. When we have bias in an AI system, it is actually systematic and structured in a way that we need to understand where it comes from so that we can avoid it and improve it and correct these issues. So here we have 3 levels. The first level is the data collection. So right from the source, right from the beginning, when we get the data itself can be a source of bias. Then we have the algorithm design. When we have the data and we use it in a certain way, this can also be a cause for bias. And finally, at the implementation level. So even not at the design, even at the implementation level, we need to be mindful about what may cause this. What may cause this bias. So let's take a deeper look at each level to see how it happens. At the data collection level, we have 2 main sources of bias. So the first one is historical bias, and the second one is the representation gap or representation bias as well. And both can be considered the same in a way, but the representation bias is more specific. Let me explain more. So the historical bias is the past discrimination practices embedded in the data. If you remember in the first session, we said that when we talked about what is AI, we use machine learning to, for the generative AI, we train the model based on certain data. So we feed the model huge amounts of data and ask it to learn from it to make future decisions, to generate data or content that is similar to what it has learned. So when the data itself is contaminated, when the data has bias in it, this will be a source. So the machine will learn to recreate the bias that it has in the data. So let me give you an example to make it clear. Let's say that you are a company trying to adopt AI for HR. So you will be training your model to maybe sort the applications. And this is already happening for the applicant tracking system, or forgot the name. So when you apply, especially in large companies, it's not that the human resource people, the personnel who are going to view your CV and then make the decision. It goes through a system first, many filters, and then when you make it to the recommended list, then it will go to the actual human capital or the people who investigate your CV. But at the beginning, it only goes through the system. So if this company is training the system on data that prefers people from specific genders, for example, so it prefers men over women, or vice versa, or it prefers people from certain ethnic groups. So when you take this data from the past practices, say 20, 30 years ago, you feed it to the system and then ask it to make the decisions based on this data. This is what we call a historical bias or a representation bias. So the representation bias is a type of the historical bias. It is underrepresentation of certain groups in the dataset. So for example, if the data you have about the past employees who have been hired, so you take them as examples of the good example of what a good candidate should have, then if you have underrepresentation of certain groups, because this company has always hired people with bias, so they prefer certain groups or certain characteristics, then this will continue in the AI system. The AI system will not be fair. It will not be just when evaluating the CVs, because it will look at these certain characteristics that made the previous candidates winners, okay? So at the first level, we have the data itself. The data can have bias, the data can be contaminated. But even with perfect data, if you start with perfect data and the data is equally represented by all groups, nothing is wrong with the data, we can see bias happening due to the algorithm design. Now, in simple terms, the algorithm design is just how you design the system to make the decision. So we have this term feature selection. So based on what? The variables. In the same example, if we have employees and we want to evaluate them, so the features will be, for example, their performance, their monthly performance, how many awards they have, the percentage, for example, for absenteeism. So these are variables, we call them features. So when we make a decision, we select some of the features, not all of them, because if we selected all of them, then it's just going to be a mess. So we just choose the most related, so the ones that has the highest correlation with the outcome that we want to get. Okay, so in simple terms, we just design the system in a certain way. So when we make this feature selection, sometimes we can cause bias unintentionally. So even if we avoid personal characteristics, we don't want to look at anything personal, such as age, for example, or ethnicity. If we choose the zip code, for example, or postal code, to try to be safe, not look into anything personal, just look at, for example, the postal code. This can also cause some bias because sometimes this is correlated with certain income levels. So people with a certain income level will be living in this certain area. Sorry. So this can also create bias. So even if we go through the data, everything is good with the data, we now go to the design of the algorithm, we also need to be careful and test this. For the optimization objectives, when we design the algorithm to look for the highest or the lowest, so what is it that we want? Do we want to minimize the cost or do we want to maximize the output? Sometimes the design itself can cause bias because it looks for example, if the HR department is looking to reduce the cost, then maybe they will look for employees who had reported lower salaries. Like, well, we have this question in every application, what is your previous salary? So maybe they will look for people with the lowest salaries, and this may or may not reflect capabilities or certain biases. So this can also create a level of bias. Now, the last level is the implementation. So now, even if we have the perfect data, the perfect design, when we get the decision from the AI system, it is implemented, it is interpreted and explained and understood by humans, because those are the ones who will make the decision. So the human interpretation is another level of bias. So the manager can maybe misunderstand the outcomes, or they may intentionally choose to go with a certain outcome. And we also have at the implementation level, the feedback loops. So when we have a system and then we train it to produce certain outcomes and we reward the system, so we can consistently give feedback that, okay, this is the best decision, then we actually create feedback loops that, okay, this is the best outcome. So when we deal with AI systems, in the design, we need to go back and create feedback about what is it that went right and went wrong. So we interact with the system. It's not just a one way. So for the feedback loop, when we have this, we can also create bias by giving feedback that, okay, you are going in the right direction, even though if it's not entirely fair or distributed. Okay, so when we look at these three levels combined, at the data collection, the algorithm design, and the implementation, this creates a huge impact on businesses if the company is adopting AI, of course. So what can be the impact? This can translate into legal liabilities. So if you have some discrimination, you can be sued. So there are legal risks. There are also opportunities for or lost opportunities. So you may exclude certain groups of customers based on the output that you got from your AI system, because it only focused on certain groups. So this will lead to market exclusion as well. Now, what we're talking about here, the impact on business, is just not on theory. It's not something that we say it could happen. It is actually happening. It happened before, as we will see in the cases. So it is a serious issue for businesses. When we compare what we might gain from AI to what we might lose or the risks associated with using AI, we need to be careful about the bias created by the system. Let's look at the first case. Here in 2018, Amazon adopted an AI recruitment system. Okay, so what happened is that the system, remember when you talked about the sources of bias, the data that was used was contaminated. So the data of 10 years was male dominated. So every manager, everyone who got promoted at that time, they were all males. So when this data, what happened is that Amazon just trained the system based on the previous data that they had. And this data was biased. So what happened is that the new system, when they screened the resumes, the AI system consistently favored male candidates, even if the other qualifications are the same or even better for the female candidates. And if the CV has words that, for example, say women, it will be penalized. So it will get lower score because the word women is identified by the system as being less competent. So what happened at that time is that Amazon stopped using the new AI system, and I'm sure they have spent a lot of money developing and implementing it, so that's already a loss, and they will also sued by other candidates. So this was a big disaster for them at that time. Of course, they're also losing some of the goodwill for being racist or discriminatory towards women. Another case happened to Facebook. Now, for Facebook, this was in 2019. They had discriminatory ads, housing ads. So we all know that when you're scrolling through Facebook, you will get customized or personalized ads based on what is it that you are interested in, what does your feed look like, what did you type in the search, and so on. So when they were streaming these ads, specifically the housing ads, these were shown to certain groups, and they had even different prices based on the region that you are at. So the housing ads were having discrimination based on the area, and also other advertisements. So the other ads that they have were also discriminatory. So for the financial services, some of the demographics were excluded. The pricing was manipulated based on the location and so on. So this obviously also caused an issue for Facebook, and it was reported, and they were again sued. So the ad the ads were personalized based on characteristics such as race, religion, and so on. So this also created an issue, and again, loss. So this is what we're talking about when what will it cost you to be biased? It's not just that you're not following what is right or the ethics, you will also be caught up in other issues as well. Another problem, another issue by a big company. So here we have Apple. Apple had a scoring system. So they have their credit card. And when they used AI, it was found that women were systematically receiving lower credit limits. So when you apply to get their card and you fill in your information as a female, you will automatically be given a lower limit because the system sees women as being or having less credibility when it comes to the finances. So even if if a man and a woman apply and they have the same financial profiles, they will get different outcomes. So this is based on the algorithm that was trained on historical gender disparities. So this was also not intentional, but it also caused the company a lot of harm. The last case that we will discuss today is even more serious. So we know that healthcare is where bias can cause like serious consequences, not just reputation and money. It's a matter of life and death. So the AI skin cancer diagnosis risks were less accurate for dark-skinned people. Why? Again, this is not because of intentional discrimination. It is because when the publicly available skin cancer image data sets were examined, so again, when we have an AI system, we need to train it based on existing data so that it can learn what to do. So the existing data sets for skin cancer images were predominantly, like 79% of them had origins from Europe, North America, and white countries. So there was only one data set originated from Asia and 2 from South America and none from Africa. So that's why the system has never seen different types of skins, different types of what might it look like to have skin cancer on people from different ethnic groups. So what happens is that it cannot detect the skin cancer, and therefore it will delay the diagnosis and cause even more serious issues for the patients. When we take all of this and look at it from the Islamic perspective, specifically from the concept of adl, we can see that the injustice is just goes against all the Islamic values that we that we need to abide by. So looking at every case, we see that for the hiring, the injustice was that women were ranked lower, despite having equal qualifications. For the housing ads, families who had children or families living currently in certain areas were excluded from the house ads. Therefore, they were given less opportunity to participate. The Apple credit card, here again, we have discrimination based on gender because women received lower credit limits, even if they have identical finances. And finally, for the healthcare AI, we see that 30% lower diagnostic accuracy was detected for darker skin tones. So when we look at this from the Islamic lens, when we look at this from the Islamic technological ethics perspective, this goes against everything that we believe in. So Maqasid al-Sharia actually necessitates 5. 2 of them are violated by injustice. So we're not protecting wealth and we're not protecting life when we allow AI injustice or AI bias to happen. And for the Western or the non-Islamic companies, this can the motive for this would be to gain more profit or to avoid the legal consequences. But for the Muslim countries, for the Muslim companies, for the Muslim world, we have a higher order to do this. So we're not just allowing AI to, we're not enabling AI to be more or less biased, to be more just, only to avoid the legal compliance or only to avoid the legal consequences. We're doing this to abide by the Quranic rules and to follow what we are learning, what we need to actually implement. So how do we achieve this? How do we go from knowing that AI has bias, that this can happen, and we've seen that it can go through different levels, but what can we do? We can integrate the Islamic framework into business strategy using a few approaches. I will discuss some of them, but I'm sure there are others. So the first thing is to be proactive about it. Now, we know that it can happen, so we need to address the bias before deployment. Deployment here means to actually apply the system in real world. So we need to address this. We need to check the data if it already has bias and solve this. We need to check the algorithm design, as we've seen. This is before we get to the implementation phase. So not just wait after it is discovered and then try to do something about it. So the first thing will be to be proactive about the issue because we now know that it can happen. The Islamic integration can be used as the practical governance framework. We will talk in a separate session about the governance framework, how we can adopt one. But for now, we can see that we can design our systems to intentionally look for the biases and avoid them. So the system can be designed to detect before it implements. For the stakeholder value, the ethical AI should create sustainable competitive advantage. So that's a motive for us. So how do we do this? We can incorporate the stakeholders because we can get feedback from certain groups and then we can incorporate their feedback into the design of the AI system. So this can also help us in detecting issues that we're not aware of. And of course, the bias mitigation is not a one-time effort because as the system evolves, as it receives more data, we need to continuously improve the system to make sure that it does not go to producing any biased outcomes. When we do our best to implement this, the type of benefits we can get are two types. When we're talking about the material ones, of course. So we can have market advantages and operational benefits, along, of course, with the rewards we will get from Allah for following the adl concept or principle. So the first thing we have is the market advantages. What can we gain? So even if you're not convinced that you should do this, you should have the extra effort to make your AI systems bias-free, you may be encouraged by the benefits. So the market advantages will be in enhanced trust and reputation, especially when we apply this in Islamic markets. So we've seen that big companies have faced legal issues because of their AI bias. So when we avoid this, this will be beneficial as a market advantage. We will also have access to underserved market segments. When AI discriminates, sometimes we've seen that it can create market exclusion based on certain elements. So these markets or these market segments can be a source of profit for the company. So it will open some untapped opportunities. And of course, this will reduce the legal and regularity risks if we actually if the AI bias was actually detected. From the operational point of view, we can get many benefits. So the decision making will be improved through comprehensive data and analysis. So again, going to the levels, we have the data and the design. So when we go through the data and make sure that it is clean and it is well represented, then the decision making will be improved. Again, we will have more benefits and increased innovation because we will have diverse perspectives and inclusive design. So what will happen is that when we get feedback from the stakeholders and we revise the system to make sure that it is bias-free and represent all the stakeholder groups equally, then we will have a higher probability for innovation because now we have different perspectives. And finally, we will have stronger stakeholder relationships and community partnerships. This can happen through two ways. The first one, because we engage them at the beginning when building the AI system. And the second one, through the trust that we have with our communities, because we are building a system that is inclusive for all of them. So the key takeaways, I think we have been time efficient this time. We're like 10 minutes before the time, but this will give us is that while organizations are rapidly interested in AI and using it in core business functions, we need to be mindful about the potential damage that can happen when we use biased systems. So we've seen examples of major companies facing significant scandals because of the biased systems they're using. And when we incorporate the principle of justice or fairness or adl and maqasid al-sharia concepts, then we can develop. This will guide us in developing fair AI systems. And this requires the development of fair AI systems. It requires proactiveness and continuous process of improvements. As we've seen, it's not something that you, as a company, will just do one time and it's done. You have to continuously improve the systems to make sure that they are bias-free. And here we're just talking about bias, but this goes to all other principles of responsible AI. So again, we need to make sure that it does not validate the privacy of the users or the consumers and all the other principles that we will discuss in subsequent sessions, inshallah. So with this, I conclude this presentation, and now you have the opportunity to ask any questions. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for your enlightening presentation. Very interesting. So now we are open for Q&A. If anyone need to ask the question,
should I go through
up your hand or yeah, yes, sure. For in the chat box.
Okay. Okay, someone here said Gemini is not responsible. We didn't say it is not responsible. They did not report. So let me go back to, I stopped the sharing. Let me go back to this slide. Okay, can you see the slides? So here Gemini only reported. So these are the reported safety and responsible AI benchmarks. They only reported one framework. So they are like abiding by this one framework. So this is what they reported. It does not mean that they are not responsible. Of course, every one of these systems, the companies have their own responsible AI principles, and maybe I will talk about this in other sessions when we talk about the governance. They have their own, but this does not mean that it is entirely responsible, because we've seen that responsibility comes at different levels. So maybe it's from the level of the data or the algorithm or the implementation. So it can happen at different levels. Okay, I want to go back to the questions. Thank you. Thank you all for your kind comments. These of 2 other lectures missing. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, when deploying AI in cybersecurity for incident detection and response in finance, do you think AI can be biased? AI can always be biased, but we need to have like the system in place. We have what is called the type 1 error and type 2 error. So sometimes the error can be favorable. So especially when we detect, for example, hacks or we detect fraud, sometimes an incident can be reported as a potential fraud when in fact it is not. And vice versa. It can be an actual fraud and we miss it. So for some systems, especially when it comes to security, we have the higher threshold. So even if it's a false positive, even if it's a false alarm, we would rather have a false alarm than actually miss the threat. So bias will always be there because it depends on the data and the design, and we need to continuously revise and improve. So it can happen at any level, but we try to improve it over time. Thank you. Okay, we have another question. How to balance between accuracy and responsibility? Oh, this is a big question. Okay, so if we want to increase the accuracy, this comes at the cost of resources because now, as I mentioned, for the type 1 and type 2 error, if you want to be more accurate, then you need more data. If you need more data, then of course you will have the resources to accumulate this data to make it even more accurate. So sometimes we need to sacrifice a bit. So for example, if we are forecasting demand for a retail company, we can go a bit lower in accuracy. But if we are doing some medical diagnosis, we need to have like the highest accuracy possible. So we just need to find the sweet spot. We can never have full accuracy because, of course, this is just a forecast. And anything, I will say this in my classes, anything in the future is in ilm al-ghayb. So we can never know for sure. There is always this slightest opportunity of things going the other way. So we can, of course, increase the accuracy, but the sustainability, of course, if you're talking about the resources, will be compromised. So it depends on the use case. This is how you decide how to balance. Do you increase the accuracy or do you want to be more sustainable in your development? I hope this answers your question. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. How to incorporate Islamic governance in the business framework for AI system? Who specialist? I'm sorry, I did not understand this question. How to incorporate Islamic governance in the business framework? Okay, maybe we can answer this question in more detail in the governance session. Inshallah, I will keep this in mind. We try to use Notebook LM Google to decrease the hallucination, increase in accuracy. Yes. Why does it reduce the hallucination? Because it is not depending on the vast majority of the data that it has. We know that AI systems give you the feedback, or they create, the generative AI create based on the data they have. And this is like trillions of data points. But when you use Notebook LM, you specifically give it the resources that you want it to use. So it is kind of more restricting, and this is a very good point. In this case, we can, when we create our own AI systems, we will give them the data. This takes us back to the point of the foundational level. We need to check the data. So if your data is well represented, accurate, then the AI will reflect on that and it will use this clean data. This is a good point. Welcome. What about the AI algorithm which intentionally designed to exploit human psychology, health, and privacy and sale for marketing and political purposes like free social networking apps? Well, this is intentional damage, I'm afraid. And one of the cases that were reported for this specific case is the Cambridge Analytica by Facebook, who intentionally, this is exactly, I'm sure you're referring to this case, or somewhat sure. They intentionally used the data that they have from the system, from Facebook data that they shared without permission, to influence the politics at that time, to get people to move in a certain direction and vote for a certain party. So this is what they've done. And in this case, I'm afraid we cannot do anything about it because AI is a tool. We can use it for the good and we can use it for the bad. So it depends on the restrictions by the governing bodies. So Facebook was charged. Other companies who had done similar things were also charged, so they faced legal issues. So I think this is the only consequence that they get, but this does not mean that other companies don't do this. And I've actually heard that in generative AI, so if you are using ChatGPT or other generative AI tools, you have this option to not allow them to use your chat to train the system. But some people question that, like if you just tick the box, this does not automatically mean that they will abide to your wish, especially if you're using a free one, then in this case, you will not be sure if it is in fact implemented. Regarding AI ethical principle, how to integrate it in developing economies as they are in the stages of AI development. Okay, so we will talk again about this in the governance. So when, as a general note, when we design an AI system, we design it. So what happens is that we give it instructions, clear instructions, same as what we do now at a smaller scale when we do prompt engineering. So if you ask, for example, ChatGPT to write an essay, for example, when you say just write an essay about something, you will not get the same output as when you say write an essay about something, limit to this word count, do not use this argument, use this argument. So when you be more specific about your request, this will give you a more relevant outcome to what you want. So when we design the AI system, we need to put this in place. I also heard that some people reported that when they add a sentence or a phrase in their prompts, as to do not use for ChatGPT, when you ask for something and then at the end add this sentence, do not use any information that you're not sure of. Or you write something about give me the resources for your claims, then it will give you kind of a more accurate response because now it has to search and validate and verify the sources. So this can also be helpful. For the development, we just have to specifically integrate, like specifically write these in the system itself. AI does not have the 5 senses and has no common sense. Of course, it's just a machine. So we decide how it behaves based on the information, the data, and the design that we make. So some people act as if AI is a living thing. as if it has a mind of its own. It does not. It is not. So we need to be more careful in dealing with it. Okay, can you share examples in halal food supply chain, how you apply the principles? Okay, maybe I will consider this for applications. Okay. Some examples, I think we have mentioned some of them. So principles of responsible or ethical AI. For example, if we want to verify the sources for our materials, because this is halal food, so every element of the supply chain needs to be halal certified. So we can use AI to verify the sources. The technicalities are like more complicated, but in a way that the application generally is that we can use it to verify the sources. We can use it like in blockchain technology, we can use it to make sure that all the verifications are in place so that we are 100% sure that it is halal. There is no like missing link that this specific ingredient, we're not sure about the source and so on. So this is like this halfway answer to your question. Sorry. Do we still have time for questions? I'm okay, but I don't want to step into the time of the next presenter.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Now we
Mm.
reach for the what you call, time break time.
Yes.
But
Yes.
then if you
Since it's a break, maybe we can answer a few more questions.
yes, sure.
Yeah. Okay, so accurate data very depends on AI accurate data very depend on accurate data given by humans as well. Yes. So there is this saying in the business analytics world where we say garbage in, garbage out. So if you start with messy data that is not clean, that is not well represented, you are just putting garbage in, and when you process it, you will get garbage out. So you're not having any value. You're missing the point of the analytics and AI, of course. So the idea of having the clean data to begin with, the quality data is the foundation for analytics and AI. We also use Grok as it declares the best AI model today, we hope. Okay. Thank you. Registration form. Do we have the registration form? Someone is asking, can we get the slides on session 8 Saturday? Okay, maybe we can check the link. So the AI is as sensible as the developers. Yes. If the developers are wise and trying their best to avoid all the pitfalls that can happen, of course, it is as wise as the developer. This is a very good saying. I'm going to use this from now on. Thank you. Registration link. Thank you. I think we've gotten to the end of the questions. Thank you all for your interaction and very good insights, comments, and questions. And I will see you next week, inshallah. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. For your
Human
answering all the
intelligence,
questions.
yes.
May Allah bless you, Dr.
Thank you very
Inshallah,
much.
hope to see you next week, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you all very much.
Yeah, now we come for the break time. Inshallah, we will come back at 11 o'clock, inshallah. Assalamualaikum, Prof. Assalamualaikum, Prof.
Waalaikumsalam.
How are you, Prof?
Okay, Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Now, good afternoon, Prof.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, inshallah.
So, inshallah, with 1 minute, we will study it. And inshallah, to all participants, we'll come back to our second session with the
Yeah.
third lectures, which is Professor Dr. Ahasanul Haque. He will present about the fundamental of marketing from an Islamic perspective, or marketing concept and philosophy from Islamic perspective. With that, for the due, فليتفضل مأجورة. Prof, you have 45 minutes and you leave 5 minutes for Q&A, Prof.
Okay. So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So, Assalamualaikum, all of you. I think that all the students, can you see my PowerPoint slide?
Yes, Prof, I saw it.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. So, okay, so fine. This is the third number of this our module on Islamic marketing. So I have taken the first day, that is the beginning days. Then second day is taken by Dr. Tahir. And Thursday, it is my turn to come with this marketing philosophy and core concept. So actually, as I told my earlier class, this course actually designed completely for Islamic perspective. Of course, it is related to the marketing practices. Marketing is a very subjective, as I told earlier class also, where conventional marketing actually exists in one country, and it is quite difficult to actually establish it. So therefore, these are the big challenges compared to the other actually subject like finance, like economics, like even Islamic management. So in this point of view, once we are taking this class and talking about that one, of course, I need to highlight related with this Islamic issue and Islamic perspective. Otherwise, this class can be conventional marketing class. So anyway, conventional marketing class we don't take now. We need to take Islamic perspective. That's why we need to linkage this class with this Islamic value, Islamic link, Islamic rules and regulation, market condition, Islamic market, everything. Right. So that's it. Today is the core marketing concept and philosophy of Islamic perspective. There is a two angles. One is core concept, one is philosophy from Islamic perspective. And I already indicated first my lecture something. There is a triangular one elements: need, want, and demand. This is the basic concept for human being needed their particular product. So that is the core concept. What you need, of course, that product you have to show your intention to buy. Otherwise, you don't want to buy. If you don't feel your mind, you need this product, then you don't buy. So that's why the core concept: need, want, and fulfill your demand. Right. And philosophy is coming. How the philosophy is coming in terms of marketing perspective, it is a perspective year after year, how historical changing the concept of marketing, buying and selling only, or marketing is more than buying and selling. So that's this concept they developed it historically, one of the time period. Then they thought this one should be obsolete. That's why they innovating with another philosophical concept. That is, I can come later on. We can discuss properly how that concept actually developed in the world. Right. So there is two aspects. One is core concept. One is Islamic philosophical perspective. So that's the learning outcome of the course. So we have some learning outcome, that is understand the define of marketing mix. This is the marketing mix. I'm talking about the marketing mix. And this is the philosophical, historical change actually. So that concept we can come later on. So understanding defined marketing mix, it is a universal truth. None of the marketer or businessman or let's say any expert, the managerial decision can take without marketing mix. Impossible. It is need to be clarified to the market that each and every element. But if our subject is Islamic perspective, of course, is with this Islamic value, we need to combine and search it, what is the actually marketing mix through the Islamic perspective. Second, we need to know marketing mix elements. That is the 4 elements in it is universal truth. From Islamic point of view, we need to talk about it, not conventional point of view. And finally, we need to understand the marketing philosophy, how the philosophy and core concept relate to the marketing mix elements. These 4 components: what? Product, price, place, and promotion. That whole marketing actually depending on this particular perspective. Right. So this is actually necessary to this perspective way they need to do, because this is the main thing. If you want to learn marketing, you cannot ignore this marketing for the concept. Like, we don't forget our parents' name, we don't forget our brother and sister name. So if you want to actually carry on your marketing career, of course you need to remember your marketing needs. So these are the issues we need to identify. So now, introductory I'm telling, that's why we are telling, it is a very essential, very fundamental, very necessary. Any marketer should work their Islamize and marketing conduct any kind of thing through paying their attention to the market. And one thing I'm again and again talking, any attention, of course, you need to go through the Islamic principle, because it is the Islamic marketing, not conventional marketing. So that's why you are paying attention through Islamic principle and teaching in the activities developing and marketing plan. Marketing plan is a very valuable thing. So that's why most of the marketing big people, they're thinking marketing mix should be developed or increased to the 5P instead of 4P, but not yet written any book. That's why still we say marketing mix means 4P, no 5P. But plan is a very important thing. That's why they're telling marketing plan based on the market condition, they have to take it. And according to the plan, they need to marketable their product into the market level. Right. So that's why, since this concept of Islamic marketing, as I said you, so it is different from the conventional approaches. Our approach should be Sharia compliance, and Islamic point of view, we have to actually complete that particular things. Right. So therefore, so it is necessary, that's why we have to do it, necessary things. It is after introductory, therefore we have to detail each of the marketing mix. We need to explain in the chapter, is talking about the overall marketing mix elements. And marketing mix elements, as I said, is the universal truth: product, price, place, promotion. The question can come, product is several categories. Product is first time we are dividing into the 2 parts. When you can come to the product chapter, I think that module presenter, they can explain to you how many types of product. But at a glance, just I'm talking about that. Product is first time we are dividing into the 2 parts. One is tangible, one is intangible product. Tangible product, that product, which is the product we can see, we can touch, how it is look like. For example, let's say this is one stapler. Stapler we are using for clipping to the paper. So this is also product. It's a physical product because I can touch, I can look. But intangible product, let's say example is I'm delivering my lecture now. You are listening and understanding. This is also product, but intangible product. So that is the difference between tangible product and intangible product. Any kind of service-oriented product, we are talking about intangible product. And which is the product physically appear, look it, we are telling it is a tangible product. Right. So it is like that price also thing, how that product actually we are setting the price. So we are coming later on because time is constrained. Otherwise, we can be lot of things can be discussed. So anyway, so seeing the concept of marketing different from the conventional, we have to take actually lastly promotion. We need to briefly we go for particular elements, right? So anyway, now product is defined, as I said, I already defined, when the view of the Islamic point of view, that is the concept of the product largely associated with the Islamic principles and value of the Islamic perception you need to bring into the product elements. So according to the Islamic marketing concept, that concept is also product should be processing, preparing, producing are not conducted ultimate objective of the product, maximize your profit only. That is the difference between conventional marketing concept, product concept, and Islamic marketing product concept. Islamic conventional marketing, the thinking, I already produced the product have a demand in the market. Anyway, by who can prove I need to generalize my profit, maximize my profit. But Islamic perspective tells you no, you cannot maximize your profit like that way, whatever you are beyond your expectation of your profit you are earning. So, Islamic point of view, you need to give the equal chance of our client, our customer to avail that product and consume it. So, consumer is doing three things: buying, consuming, and finally disposing that particular product. It is called product life cycle. So you cannot think it one product forever you can be using the one. So the three work is doing. First time the buying. After buying, they producing, they using this product. Once they satisfied, they repurchase that particular product. If not satisfied, they thinking to switching to the another brand product. Right. So that's why you see, if the process or ultimate objective should not be actually maximize only your profit, rather your concentrate product actually producing improvement to the society law and society interest and as a welfare of the society. How that product can be valuable to our society people and society people, how they can use this product and they can be used to a standard of life they can be developed. It is not only seeking only profit margin, your own self is thinking, you need to think it to the big generation, our consumer, those are consuming that product. But customer is different. Customer can buy, anybody can buy product, right? But might be they don't consume it. Those are the using this product that the consumer. So this type of concept we need to bring it to the marketing perspective actually. So as a result, you see, it is entire production process in the ibadah to Allah. So total process we need to come through the Sharia compulsory Islamic perspective, even halal ingredients, halal process. So all these things actually halal packaging, halal supply chain management, everything should be coming to the process of the particular Islamic way, Sharia way. Because this reason to the Islamic marketing, whole production process must intended to according to the Sharia principle. This is the major ideology you have to take. So Sharia compliance and perceiving that Islamic marketing. If not, we can say it is a conventional marketing, it is not an Islamic marketing. But our work, our lecture now, the Islamic marketing, that's why we need to bring to the Islamic value, right? So, what is this? Islam made compulsion of your market. Only the manufacturing or producing the product which is indicating to the halal, even society acceptable. If society not accept that product, we cannot say it is a halal product or halal ingredients. Because let's say alcohol, for example, or which is the product our society is not accepting easily. Why not accepting? There is either ingredients or any material or process, they are not maintaining completely Sharia compliance or Islamic compliance. So that's why our society openly don't accept this type of product because there is something problem. Right? So that's why you need to maintain which is the product you are producing. It should be according to the halal and even society acceptable. Even though the production, consumption, the product should not be leading any harmful effect in the society. That's all. Always they're talking about that. Marketing is developing our standard of life, fine. But marketing cannot do all these activities, which is the activities actually harmful for the society. We have to think to the society people interests. Example, let's say we are women are very fan for the cosmetics product. Cosmetics market means it is the woman market. Of course, it's the high pricing product, high branding product. But when the producing, if let's say that company, they're using a lot of chemical to produce any kind of actually cosmetic, if it is not halal cosmetics. That's why there is a coming Islamic concept. Why not produce the halal cosmetics rather than conventional? So once the producing, like might be the company is draining to the lot of waste management product to the earth or society, and it is coming to the society, air pollution, water pollution. So this is society don't accept. You are producing one product, but another side, you are harmful emotion actually giving to the society, which is polluted our water, polluted our air, and lot of actually the human or let's say the animal, they affected. This type of activities cannot be. So this is the marketing. Islamic marketing concept actually talking about like that way. You can produce that product, but you need to think it about Islamic perspective way. Don't do any harmful effect, which is environmentally or society can be affected. Don't do. So we need to carefully understand the things. So you see, under the Islamic marketing thought or concept, find the rethinking the concept. Price, important element, very important elements pricing. Price is very sensitivity issue. Right. So that's why the price for the product must be set up, considering your consent to the buyer and seller. So price should be reasonable. That's why our marketing guru, Philip Kotler, is a more powerful and actually father of marketing we are talking, because he innovated this concept. Only product is producing, marketing, buying and selling, no. Price also try to be reasonable as per your target market ability to purchasing power. You have to do it. What is the purchasing power? You don't do unrealistic pricing, which is your target customer group, quite difficult to buy it. Then you are not actually the service providing to the society. Correct. So that's why you see that they're considering the concept, buyer and seller interaction, both parties. You can, of course, everybody can make the profit. Without profit, you cannot be survived. but the profit maximization should be reasonable, which is acceptable range in the society. Second, further, several type of unethical pricing strategy practices is going on in the market. Right, likely monopoly market, ordering, price discrimination, and strictly prohibited in Islam. Let's say monopoly market is that one. One big organization, big company, they dominating into the market, and that's why their price is always premium price. They don't consider to the customer, and they bound to customer to come to their particular product. For example, let's say Astro in Malaysia previously, before revolution in internet. Now people are doing through the internet free of charge a lot of things. Let's say we are taking Zoom class, but before COVID-19, we don't expect it. Right. So when Astro in Malaysia, they offering the package, you don't have any alternative choice. If you take the cable TV network, Malaysia is only one company, Astro, and you have to take it, whatever their package, whatever their pricing. It is a monopoly business. So they're the bigger player in the market. They don't allow even government policy. They make the agreement. None of the another company coming to the market. So you see the market don't have any competitive situation. If market don't have the competitive situation, benefit is getting more and more to the company side. If more competitive situation, highly competitive, one company to another company, companies what is doing? The rebranding, reproducing, repricing. That's why they try hard to reduce competitive way product pricing, and it is benefit which goes to customer. So with no competitive situation, what is the happening? Company is monopoly business is doing, and they're making a lot of profit. So that's a monopoly business. Islam don't support. Why one person, one company showing their all actually the power? Cannot. You need to give the equal chance. Everybody can come and doing the business. Similarly, price discrimination, if no fixed price, some of the customer bargaining power low, some of the customer bargaining power is very high. Those have a bargaining power is very high. They bargaining and reducing product price, and they might be gaining some advantage. But some of the customers is feeling very high. They are unable to bargaining. They are losing. That's why discrimination pricing is coming if there is no fix for everybody. Right. So it is Islam actually prohibited. So similarly, price dumping or predatory pricing, which is practice and pricing actually in the market is going on. So that is also strictly prohibited, predatory pricing or dumping prices. Let's say one of the company, just one very sensitive product, they reduce the price and they indicated, please come and buy. A lot of customer is going there. But practically when you're going there, many cases you can look your practical and experience. Sometimes seller is telling, sorry, stock finish. So question is, today you started promotion and your date is that's 1 week. How come the within 2 hours your product is finished? What kind of actual promotion you are giving? Actually, their product is shortage. They just 1 unit, 2 unit product. They just show to attract to the customer. When customer is coming to that particular shop, of course, if don't get product A, might be the thinking, okay, once I come, I can buy another product. That is called predatory pricing. And dumping price, one of the product price, they showing but they selling to the different price, the product. So like that, so many unethical practices they're doing to making their profit maximization, which is Islamic marketing perspective based on our Quranic version of Quran and Sunnah. They are not supporting actually this type of things. Right? So competitor is forbidden to the Islam. They don't care about it. So beside the concept, as I said, that riba, last class also, first class, I already take what is the riba or usury or interest has been vigorously actually balanced of the Holy Quran. They already told clearly riba cannot take it. Right? Riba is strictly prohibited. Any kind of interest, it is a haram, they said. You cannot take it unnecessarily. Again, Surah Al-Nisa, Surah Al-Baqarah already mentioned and narrate that particular things about the riba. So, if you read it, and translation version of the Surah Al-Baqarah, even Surah Al-Nisa, you can get the clear actually picture what actually our Holy Quran talking about the riba concept and interest concept. So, you need to read yourself because due to the time constraints, we cannot explain all these things. And after that, anybody, anything need, welcome to communicate to him. So you see, these are the surah in the Quranic ayat, and even they already mentioned what is the surah number, what is the ayat number, everything they already mention and narrate. So regarding the interest issue. So strictly they said. So place. Place is now the third element, and product was the first elements among the marketing elements. If you don't have the product, other three elements is valueless, no value, because if no product, where you can set up the pricing, which one you can be distributed means place, which one you can give the customer promotion means product is the heart of the marketing mix. If product have, then another three elements can work. Otherwise, don't work. Right. So that's a day talking about that initial stage, the process through which is the product are delivered, transfer from production place to the consumer marketplace where customer can buy it. That is the transportation. Place utility, changing the position, that is called the place of distribution. Place means actually distribution. So the whole process must satisfy to the consumer appropriately to the time, at the right time, right place, and right cost. Three things they're looking. So you need to be right price, you have to ensure your product can sell it. At the right place, you can be selling. And at the right time, you can supply that product into the market to sell your product. Right. So, point that applying that through the Islamic marketing distribution concept or processing, it is a vital issue for the marketer. All marketers, those that are producing that product and selling it to the market, is very important issue. That vital one, the process. It is very important issues marketer to ensure to the distribution process, because if your product is not available, what will happen? Customer don't know it. They will buy product B and you are selling product A. A is not available, they don't know it. Right? That's why the total distribution process, you need to ensure your right time, right place, and right cost, your product is available in the market. Right? So that's a similarly, delivery process must not affect the environmental adversely. You need to carefully understand when I'm delivering that product, it cannot be affected environmentally our situation. So that's why it should be environmental friendly product. You need to do the business. Which is the product is environmental friendly product, green marketing product, which is not actually harmful for the society, like solid waste management product. For example, let's say product you are using, the packet you are throwing. If that product is plastic content, plastic is not perishable in the soil. It is by the soil condition deteriorating, air pollution, environmental pollution, even a lot of drain is blocking, so many activities in the society is coming. So you try to be packaging like that way, which is the elements can be actually absorbed to the society environment. You need to be careful, understand delivering the product. Don't spoil to the product, market and consideration safety while delivering the product to consumer. If product is deceptive, as I said earlier class also, you have to tell your buyer, my product has some defective, that's why 10 ringgit product I'm giving 5 ringgit. If you willing, you can buy. But I already disclose. But if you disclose, you are own it, people don't buy. Of course, it is the reality. So these are the issues need to be completely think about the particular things. Now we are coming elements of the promotion, which is we are calling to the last element of the marketing mix, right? Product, price, place, and promotion. So promotion is what? Promotion is they notify to their target customer. And target customer, I already said first details. So target customer, the product is reminding as well as persuading to the customer purchasing existing product. So the reminding this is the product ongoing in the market. Now is the special occasion I given and some reduced price, discount price I'm willing to sell it. Please come and buy from me. So this is called promotion. Any kind of discount. It can be sales promotion. It can be cash discount. It can be quantity discount. It can be functional discount. There is 3 types of discount we are considering. But under the 3 types of discount, a lot of strategic discount. What 3 types? One is cash discount. Example is cash discount. Previously 20 ringgit product, now they're selling to the 50% discount, 10 ringgit. It is a completely directly cash discount. Quantity discount, you can see some of the product they're showing 20% extra product they give it to you. But price remain unchanged. Last time 20 ringgit, now still 20 ringgit, but telling product contain, I giving you 20% more to you. That is called quantity discount. They give you more quantity or buy one, free one. Another one, functional discount. Functional discount, example like that. Price is remain unchanged. Product as it is, but some additional feature they added. For example, previously our mobile phone, only we are calling and receiving. Then they given to the MP3, MP4. Now they given the camera. So this additional feature they add in, but don't changing their product price. That is called functionally they're giving discount. More function giving, but I'm not taking for the additional any money. That is called the functional discount. So like that, any of the discount, there is so many things actually discount, even sales promotion activities, even MyV in Malaysian car company. Last time they given with this Coca-Cola. When we drinking to the Coca-Cola, if after opening, there is a picture is coming, car picture, you are winning the car. So due to that one, if Malaysia, let's say 32 million people, if 10 million people also try one time give to get the promotional price. If product price is 1 ringgit, also 10 million ringgit they already earn. How many cards they giving? 5 pieces, 10 pieces, how much price? Not 10 million. So within these 2 weeks, the huge quantity money they already profit. This is a conventional marketing. But Islamic marketing, this type of promotion, they don't support. They're telling you are the thinking your profit maximization by who can cook, but you are not thinking to the customer side. Even due to the your car price, one customer not only trying one time, they trying twice, they trying triple time, many times. So if I get it, so how many times? If you are looking like that, they're making them maximize their profit. And this is actually promotional point of view, but this promotion is talking about Islamic perspective where you have to carry on. Otherwise, they actually don't support it. Right. So this is predominantly both actually religious practices and targeted to the customer. Actually, they're doing, and Quranic said, even Surah Al-Nisa, again, Surah number, ayat number, they already mentioned and narrate about the particular promotional activity. So, Islamic marketing actually, you need to read to the Quranic way some of the Hadith Quran and what is actually we can do, what is we cannot do. They clearly talk about it. If not, it could be considered actually conventional marketing rather than Islamic marketing. So that's a very carefully you need to handle Islamic way, when Sharia way you are doing your marketing perspective. Right. Similarly, the marketer must actually the cause of enough with this encourage to the customer overspend their money or excessive lavish or purchase because of the promotional activity. Also, Islam not supporting excessive your, let's say, your luxury life or excessive you are spending your money. You have money, you are thinking, "Ah, I have money, no matter, I can buy again another one." But it is unnecessary, you are not necessary purchasing. Islam is saying unnecessary, you are wasting your money rather than you are purpose of the Islamic way you are spending your money. You see, you have money means you cannot be misused. Islam is strictly prohibited. That's it. You have two shops. That is good enough to survive in your life. But every week you are thinking, I want to buy one new design shop. This luxurious life. Islam don't support it. So it is the Islamic point of view, the promotion giving, that is means I have money, that's why every time I can buy. No, it is not. Don't do like that. Even though any kind of lottery, let's say in the market, so many lottery, you are telling if you buy your 50 ringgit of your something, might be you can eligible to try your luck. When you try your luck, it is strictly prohibited. Islam don't support to try your luck without any hassle, without any work. You are earning either some money, strictly prohibited. So, okay, I'm going fast because time is limited. I need to be second part also. I need to continue. So now, once we are at a glance already said, product prices, place promotion. Now we are coming to the marketing philosophy. Marketing philosophy is coming different. Again, coming to the product price, place promotion. Philosophy means how the concept is due to the time period it changes. So each and every subject in the world is first time is innovated, like physics, like chemistry, now mathematics, now history, now let's say the management, whatever. Marketing also like that, first time when introduced to the market, come to the world. So people thought marketing no need to study so many aspects. Marketing is what? Just buying and selling, that is good enough. Practically no. They realize that given the lot of actual production, when they given lot of production, practically, they are unable to sell. They saw it, why people don't buy our product. Then they realize this is the problem after marketing research. Because what is the exact product customer need? Can you remember? I already said, go back to your core concept of marketing, need, want, and demand. Now we are coming to the need. It is interrelated. For example, you are the now listening my lecture, and might be somebody who's note down to the your diary or paper. So you are writing either pencil or ball pen or whatever. But if I take my class, I writing to might be, let's say, a whiteboard, and I'm using the marker pen. So company only producing marker pen. Is it possible to solve your purpose? No. So if they give the more production of the markup, nobody can buy. Same thing happened. They given the production without customer information, what customer need actually. That's why customer don't buy. Then they do marketing research. When do marketing research, they realize, yes, we need to know the customer need and that product we can produce. So production concept, they shift to the product concept. Production concept ideology only give the production, can sell automatically, cannot. Product concept is coming now, whatever the customer need, only give the production that product. Then we can sell it. Then they started to give the production, a product, according to the customer need. Customer telling, I need product A, I only produce product A. I don't produce product B. Okay, after that, they try to sell it. Then again, they're facing problem as per their expectation, they cannot sell. Then they're thinking, what is the problem? We already market research, we know customer need this product, but still customer don't buy our product properly. What is the happening? Then they again marketing research. They realize, yes, our concept is misfired, but we need to be develop selling concept. Selling concept ideology. Let's say, for example, I want to sell my wristwatch. And my audience, I don't say, I want to sell this wristwatch, this is the price, this is the quality. Nobody knows. I want to sell it. And nobody is coming to the market and purchasing my product. Right? Then they say, no, selling concept we need to develop it. We need to inform to the customer where our target customer are living. Please, this is my product I produce. Come forward and buy my product. Then they can buy. And now they realize, yes, now much more successful and they can sell more and more product, more and more product. But still, they realize, no, still as per our expectation, we cannot sell. Then again, marketing research they did. After marketing research, then realize, and that is the Philip Kotler innovated marketing 4P. That is which one we talked earlier, product, price, place, promotion. He innovated that one. You must include your modern marketing concept, and under this concept, you bring it to the marketing 4P. For example, let's say, I want to sell my pencil, and people are scattered worldwide. I'm producing in Kuala Lumpur, but my customer are living Sabah Sarawak. Is it possible Sabah Sarawak people can come Kuala Lumpur only for RM1 product and buy it and go back? Cannot. It's not cost effective. That's why he said, whatever your product, you need to set up your price based on your customer ability. Your distribution effect properly introduced. Where your customer are living, you need to supply your product. So product can rush to the customer. Customer don't rush to the product. And you need to clear indication providing your promotional activities. Otherwise, you cannot sell. And after the modern concept of marketing, they realize, yes, we are now much more success. So, and still now, we are using this modern concept marketing, that is product, price, place, promotion, which is included to our actually, particularly our marketing philosophical concept. Then after that, they thought it marketing already completed everything for customer, but still we don't do one thing. What? We never think about our society people, society environment, society impact. That's what they say. Yes, we are producing good product, we are selling good product, we are earning a lot of money, everything, but we are not thinking this product we are taking halal way or haram way or Sharia compliance or not. Right? So we cannot disturb to our society people. That's right. They develop last concept, societal marketing concept. societal marketing concept, example I given earlier, but again I'm telling, marketing can produce any product, but carefully understand you cannot harmful activities for the society or society people, which is not good for the society environment. Like I tell you, cosmetics product they're producing, polluted to the air, polluted to the water, which is not good. Right? Pharmaceutical industry also like that. It's a medicine producing, but lot of waste management product, chemical gaining, which is not good for actually society. So we need to be carefully understand. That's why your job, example, those are the smoker, smoking cigarette. Each and every cigarette packet, they already written some disease picture and they give him. So smoking is not good for your health. That is the slogan. The same. As a marketer, we already told this product is not good for your health if you consume. But God already given you the brain, everything. You think it, whether you want to buy or not to buy. This is for the society. You are encouraging, you are indicating, you are just talking. Please, this product I produce, this is my business. But it's not good for your health. So that's why we need to think whether you want to buy or not to buy. So means, you see, when you're doing something for the society, it is called societal marketing concept. Correct? So this concept, you need to be thinking properly how the societal marketing concept is. Then what is the happening? You see the philosophy, how many times? 5 times. Production concept, philosophy. Production concept shift to the product concept. Product concept go to the selling concept. Selling concept go to the marketing concept. And marketing concept, after establishing the thinking, this is the right time, that is societal marketing concept. So philosophy, marketing philosophy is 5. And duration of the time period in the world, perspective historically, the concept is change. And finally, they established the marketing concept and societal marketing concept. And marketing mix, we already talked, product, price, place, and promotion, 4 elements. These 4 elements under this which marketing philosophy? Marketing, modern marketing concept philosophy. So that philosophy, 4 elements, they're talking about that, right? So these are the dilemma. There are the 2 parts. One is marketing mix, one is marketing philosophy. So that's why we need to further any delay. We are stopping because my time is finished, and I think the next presenter need to already ready to present. So quickly, if any question, please try. I try my best to answer, and please ask me. Otherwise, I need to give to the floor to the MC.
Thank you very much, Prof, for your insightful sharing today, Prof. I think in the chat box there is no question, but let's say if the participant have the question, because the time already passed minute. If you guys have question, you can raise up your hand so that I can unmute.
Or anytime they can communicate to me, most welcome. No problem. Our email, our WhatsApp, everything with you.
Yeah, Prof, you can also give your email here. So if someone have a question, they can ask you directly.
Okay. I'll give to our coordinator my email and my WhatsApp number. They can communicate, and just you tell you are IIIT class, you are asking this question. I try my best to clear to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prof, for your sharing today. Inshallah, hope to see you next week. Inshallah. Thank you very much.
No, I
Prof.
don't have any
See
more
you.
class. This is my last module for me. Actually, the marketing, we are taking the 3 lecturer. So I'm the actually innovator. I the coordinator. I produce all the PowerPoint slide, everything is mine. I just distribute to the other lecturer. So next 2 lecture the Tahirjan, and after that Dr. Sohani. But all my material they just take the lecture. So this is my last lecture. Please communicate to me later. Thank you.
Okay, noted. Thank you very much for your sharing and for your kindness. If this participant need to have a question, you can direct call him or WhatsApp him or email him. Thank you very much, Prof, for your sharing
Okay,
today. May
thank
Allah
you.
bless you, Prof.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we continue with Dr. Dolhadi. He our technical. Aina. Yeah. Okay. Without further ado, we will listen from Dr. Dolhadi Zainudin. The topic regarding balancing profitability with social and environmental care. Without further ado, now we already passed about 4 minutes. فليتفضل مأجورة. Assalamualaikum. Okay, for technical issue, give me some minute. Give me some minute. Sorry to all participants. Because of technical issue, please give us excuse for 5 minutes. Assalamualaikum to all participants. We are really apologize for the technical issue. Maybe we have to take some more minute or until we can solve the technical issue. We are really apologize for that. And thank you for waiting us. to all participants because sorry, I'm really apologize for the technical issue from our side. Maybe the class today we will replace Dr. Dolhadi will replace for together with the next class inshallah. So for today maybe we end our class first. Hopefully we can in the next class we can receive the presentation well inshallah. But for today we are a group of IIIT and the kuliah ask for apologize for today, and we end our class first with tasbih kifarah and surah al-asr. Subhanallah.